Okay, picture this. It's what, 11:30 at night. You're lying in bed, the lights are off, and your room is just bathed in that soft blue glow of your phone. You're not even tired, you're just scrolling. And then you stop. You see it. Maybe it's a new pair of sneakers. Maybe a really, really nice jacket that you feel would, I don't know, change your whole life.
The dangerous hour. That's when the rational brain has definitely clocked out for the night.
It really is. And you feel it, right? Your heart rate actually spikes a little. You get that excitement, that little dopamine hit. You imagine yourself with it. And your thumb just hovers over the buy now button. It's so easy. You click and it feels
And
good.
about, what, 3 days?
A week, maybe?
Exactly. Until the box arrives, the dopamine fades, and then a month later, the bill shows up. And that jacket feels like an anchor. We've all been there. It's a
Yeah.
universal feeling. But the question is, why? Why does our brain make financial decisions that our bank account just despises? It's the eternal struggle, isn't it? Between our biology and, well, mathematics. Our brains evolved millions of years ago to prioritize immediate survival. Eat the berry now, run from the tiger now.
But we're trying to navigate this modern financial system built on long-term abstract numbers.
It's a total software mismatch. And that's exactly what we're unpacking today. We're doing a deep dive into a source called The Hidden Cost of Tomorrow. And we're zeroing in on lesson #25, consumer credit.
This is a great one. It's not just a budgeting guide telling you to click coupons. It's really about behavioral psychology.
Absolutely. The author uses these two archetypes, two characters, to show the war going on in our heads.
I found these so helpful. We have Sean and Annie.
Right. So first, you have Sean. He's the economist. For him, money is just physics. There's no emotion. He sees debt as a surgical tool.
Which is such a great metaphor. A scalpel can save your life or it can kill you. It all depends on how you use it.
Spot on. Sean is the rational approach.
Yeah.
And then you have Annie.
Annie, the emotional spender. And I have to admit, reading her parts, I felt a little seen. I think there's a bit of Annie in all of us.
I think in most of us, yeah. Annie doesn't see the total cost. She just sees the monthly payment. Her brain just instantly converts a price tag into these manageable chunks.
She is the dream customer for the entire credit industry.
She operates on feelings, not spreadsheets.
So our mission here is to bridge that gap. We need to get why Annie's brain works that way, why Sean is so terrified for her, and why the source claims that buying shoes on credit could be financial suicide.
I know, financial suicide sounds like hyperbole. It's a really strong phrase. But once we get to the math, you'll see it's actually a pretty accurate description of what's happening.
Okay, let's get into it. I want to start with the why. Why are we so susceptible to this? The text talks about delayed pain. What is that?
This is pure behavioral science. To
Yeah.
get delayed pain, you have to think about its opposite, like paying with physical cash.
Right. You hand over a $50 bill, you physically see your wallet get thinner.
And your brain registers that as a loss. I mean, neuroimaging studies have shown that spending cash lights up the same part of your brain that feels physical pain. It literally hurts to spend money.
So that pain is like a natural break. It stops you from overspending because you feel that sting immediately.
Exactly. But credit is an anesthetic. It severs that link. The source calls it the anesthetic of credit. When Annie sees those $300 shoes, if she had to peel off three $100 bills, the pain might be too much. She'd walk away.
But with a card or one of those buy now, pay later apps, she gets the item, the pleasure right now. The pain, though.
The pain is just pushed off into some invisible future. She gets 100% of the reward and 0% of the immediate penalty. Her brain basically registers it as free.
And the text also talks about the framing effect. She's not thinking about a $300 loss. She's thinking about a $25 a month inconvenience.
That is the trap. The human brain is terrible at long-term math, but it's great at comparing small numbers. $25, that feels like nothing. That framing just blinds her to the total cost and, crucially, the interest.
It makes spending frictionless.
And whenever you remove friction, you get acceleration. In this case, accelerated spending. The source puts it perfectly. Credit separates the pleasure of acquisition from the pain of payment.
It's like eating a huge burger and being told the calories won't show up for 6 months. You'd eat 3 of them.
You absolutely would. And then 6 months later, you'd wonder why none of your clothes fit. That's Annie. Buy now, hurt later.
But here's where I want to push back a little. The world runs on credit. Most people can't buy a house with cash. You need loans for cars, for education. Sean, the economist, He doesn't hate all debt, does he?
No, and this is a really critical distinction. Sean isn't saying cut up your cards and live in a cave. He says debt is a tool, but he draws a very hard line between good debt and bad debt.
I feel like good debt is a term people use to justify things they want. Oh, this TV is an investment in my mental health.
Sean would shut that down so fast. The definition in the text is really rigid. Good debt is leverage. It's debt you take on to buy an asset that puts money back into your pocket.
Okay, like the example in the source.
Yeah, the coffee shop. So let's say Annie opens a cafe. She takes out a $10,000 loan to buy a commercial espresso machine.
That's a lot of debt. That's scary.
It is. But that machine lets her make 500 lattes a day at a profit, and the machine generates revenue that more than covers the loan payments. The debt is working for her.
So the asset pays for the liability.
Precisely. That's the surgical tool.
Okay, now contrast that with bad debt.
Bad debt is borrowing for things that depreciate, things that lose value faster than you pay them off. Which brings us back to the shoes, or clothes, phones, vacations.
The second you walk out of the store, the shoes are used. They're worth less.
So much less. And the source has this golden rule, which, honestly, I think everyone should write on sticky note and put on their monitor.
Let's hear it.
Never borrow money for something that gets cheaper.
Wow. Never borrow money for something that gets cheaper. It seems so simple, but it's actually kind of profound.
Think about the physics of it. If you finance a phone, the asset is sliding down in value every single day. But the debt is climbing up because of interest.
You're caught in a pincer movement.
You are being crushed between depreciation and interest. By the time you finally pay off those shoes, they might be in the trash. You're paying a premium for a memory.
Which leads us right to the math, because the source calls this financial suicide, which felt harsh. But then I saw the section on reverse compound interest.
Yeah, this is where it gets scary. We always
Ew.
talk about compound interest as this miracle, right? The eighth wonder of the world.
He who understands it earns it.
He who doesn't pays it. And consumer credit is you paying it, big time. We don't need to get into the formula. But the key variable are the interest rate.
And on credit cards, that's what, 20, 25% these days?
Sometimes 30%. That's a huge number.
Hmm.
The stock market, the greatest wealth engine in history, averages maybe 8 to 10% a year.
So when you carry a credit card balance, you're fighting a headwind that's 3 times stronger than the best investment tailwind out there.
That's a great way to put it. You are sprinting up a down escalator that's moving 3 times faster than you are. You will lose. It's a mathematical certainty.
So let's apply this to the shoe reality. Annie buys the $300 shoes. She only pays the minimum.
Right. If she does that, the 25% interest just eats her alive. The source calculates that those $300 shoes could end up costing her over $500.
So she paid $500 for a $300 item.
And remember, by the time she's done paying, that item is likely worth $50 or zero. This is the key insight. Consumer credit forces you to buy fewer things for more money.
Wait, say that again? Buy fewer things for more money?
It's the opposite of a sale. If you're always carrying credit card debt, you are voluntarily marking up the price of your entire life by 50% or more. Your paycheck just buys less.
Framing it as a voluntary markup. That's insane. Why would anyone do that?
Because of the psychology we started with. The math is infallible, the shoes are shiny, the dopamine is now, the math is later.
Okay, so we have the psychological trick, the bad debt trap, the math. But the source has one last layer, and this was the one that really got me.
The opportunity cost.
The source calls it the hidden theft. I feel like opportunity cost is one of those terms people know but don't really feel.
It makes it concrete by changing the question. Annie asks, can I afford $25 a month?
And the answer is usually yes.
But Sean, the economist, asks, what else could that $25 have done? It's not just about the money you lost to interest. It's about the ghost of the wealth you never built.
Okay, walk us through Sean's calculation.
So he looks at that $25 monthly payment. He says, okay, what if Annie didn't buy the shoes and instead invested that money every month? Say in a simple index fund getting around 10%.
$25. It seems like pocket change.
It does in the short term. But over 10 years, with compound interest working for her this time, that stream of money, it grows to roughly $5,000.
Whoa, $5,000 from just $25 a month.
That's the exponential power of time. So the source presents this really stark choice. When Annie's in the store, the price tag says $300. But the real price tag, the opportunity cost, is $5,000.
If the tag on the shelf actually said $5,000, nobody would buy the shoes.
You'd laugh and walk away. But that is the real trade you're making. And this leads to the source's philosophical conclusion. Credit is literally stealing from your future self.
That's a haunting phrase.
Think about it. You're reaching through time into the pocket of the you of 2036 and taking their resources for a whim that you have today.
And the you of 2036 is going to be pretty annoyed when they want to retire or buy a house, and the money isn't there because the you of 2026 wanted cool shoes.
Exactly. You're hollowing out your own future to fund a momentary dopamine hit.
It's really sobering. It strips away all the fun of the shopping spree montage you see in movies.
It's meant to be a cold shower. It's meant to wake Annie up.
So if we step back and look at the whole picture from the source, how do we summarize this trap?
I see it as a four-step cycle. First, the psychology. Our brains are tricked by delayed pain.
That's the anesthetic.
Second, the nature of the debt. We borrow for things that rot. We violate the golden rule.
Never borrow for things that get cheaper.
Third is the math. The reverse compound interest. The high rates make sure we pay a massive premium.
And finally,
The opportunity cost. The hidden theft. We're not just losing the cash. We're deleting our future wealth.
I can hear people thinking, okay, great, you've depressed me. Am I never allowed to buy anything nice again?
No, of course not. The point of this deep dive isn't to say you should suffer. It's about awareness.
Knowing the true price.
Exactly. If you see those shoes and you understand the real math, if you say, I'm willing to sacrifice $5,000 of my future wealth for these shoes today, then go for it. Buy them.
Because then it's a conscious trade-off. It's not a trick.
You've taken the blindfold off, you're making an adult decision, and sometimes, you know what, the joy is worth it. But most of the time, probably not.
You know, this brings up a visualization for me. We talk about this future self like it's a stranger.
But it's the only person who will always be with you.
So here's a final thought I want to leave everyone with. Something to think about next time you're scrolling at midnight, your thumb hovering over that button.
Go on.
Imagine you could actually time travel. You stand in front of yourself 10 years from now. Maybe they look a little tired. Maybe they're stressed about a mortgage.
Vivid image.
And you have to look them in the eye and ask for permission. You have to say, I need to take this cash out of your wallet right now so I can buy these shoes today.
That changes the conversation entirely.
Would they say yes? Would they open their wallet and just hand you the money with a smile? And if the answer is no, why do you keep swiping the card?
Because every swipe is a question you're asking your future self. Just make sure you can live with their answer.
That's it for this deep dive. Thanks for listening, and go easy on your future self.
Take care.